Whitney Littman. What difference does it make to the dead, the orphans, and the homeless, whether the mad destruction is wrought under the name of totalitarianism or the holy name of liberty and democracy? This is a quote from Gandhi. The United States gets into affairs it does not belong in. Even with intervention from the United States, the country's presence does not make a critical difference. The United States should not be involved with Syria's civil war. Why the United States should not be involved? Supporting my argument, an article by Doug Bandeau from the Huffington Post states, in several instances, the United States has involved itself in outside conflicts with results being unsuccessful. President Reagan got involved with the Lebanese War in 1982, sending about 1,800 troops. There were about 25 warring factions in that war, which could have easily entangled the United States to battle even longer in a war which our country did not belong in. 241 Americans died while being involved in that civil war with no benefits to the United States. A more recent example of the United States getting involved in a foreign country's diplomacy is Egypt. There has only been destruction and rebellion since the United States has been involved. The United States has continually backed a dictatorship in Egypt and supported the government. As a quote from foreignpolicyjournal.com, a U.S.-backed military coup just toppled a democratically elected government. President Morsi's overthrow has placed the army, not the masses, in power. U.S. involvement left more damage than good. Civil wars tend not to like outside help, such as foreign countries like America. Different fighting factions would likely break off and try to gain control of Syria. Even if the United States helped out, the Assad regime, the fighting would likely not end, with different factions fighting to gain control of the country. But let's focus on points closer to home, like our troops. American troops would be greatly affected by fighting in Syria. Something that would greatly affect them is post-traumatic stress disorder. Post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, is classified by psychologists as an anxiety disorder. It can occur after a traumatic event in which you think yours or other lives are in danger. During the traumatic event, you may feel you don't have control over what is happening and naturally feel extreme fear for yours or other safety and/or survival. Events can include combat, assault, sexual abuse, physical abuse, natural disaster, and accidents. After the event, you may feel confused, scared, or angry. If the feelings don't go away or get worse, you may have PTSD. These symptoms can disrupt your life and make it hard to continue with daily activities. And this definition was from veteransandptsd.com. There are also 2.3 million veterans. 20% of them are total veterans from Afghanistan and Iraq suffering from PTSD. 50% of those numbers do not seek treatment for their PTSD. Getting involved in wars affects our citizens and unfortunately leaves them scarred for the rest of our lives. But something even more serious than PTSD is death. If our American troops were to get involved, our men will be killed. Those are brothers, fathers, and sons dying for a cause that does not affect them. Not only will the troops be affected, but the American economy as well. War creates unneeded debt for the country. According to nationalpriorities.org, between 2001 and 2011, the United States spent $7.2 trillion in constant FY 2012 dollars on defense, including the Pentagon's annual base budget, the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, and nuclear weapons-related activities of the Department of Energy Function 050. And this was from nationalpriorities.org. And since October of 2013, the United States has allocated $17 trillion in debt. The United States does not need to get involved with another country's affairs. By getting involved, the national debt will only increase with no benefits for the citizens of the United States. Why shouldn't the United States be involved with serious affairs? This is a war that does not affect American citizens. By getting involved, we will only create debt and lose lives. If America does not get involved in serious civil war, we save money that could be used to pay off the deficit and save our troops from being killed. Americans must petition together to stay away from the civil war. The United States is a democratic country that listens to its people, and when enough citizens come together, the government will listen. The United States should not be involved in the affairs between the death of troops and the probability of an unsuccess. This war is something our country should not be involved in. The United States cannot support something else. Our country's domestic state is in a delicate place. The United States has to fix problems within its own borders so it can support other countries in the future. Thank you.
Back to the